This next gentleman is an American actor, comedian, director, producer, and author. Please give it up for the astounding, the legend, Mr. Henry Winkler, everybody! Hey, Henry, what's up?
Hi, everybody.
Thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to have you here virtually.
Do you know what? I am too, because I absolutely love doing the Wizard World Comic-Cons, because I get to be with all the people who watch and I never, ever get to meet. And this is the next best thing, but not quite the same as being there to shake your hand. Whoop, can't do that.
Of course. Yeah, no shaking. We can virtually shake hands, but no actual contact. Well, Henry, there are folks. I know you're not watching the stream live, but I am, and we are watching it for you. There are folks watching from around the world, and I just want to shout out to Troy1445 watching on Twitch. They just said hello to all my fellow Henry Winkler peers from across the country and the world. Our 2020 just got better today. Thanks for certain. Stay safe, guys. So they are so excited to see you.
And also, I hear that somebody is watching from Italy, so let me just say ciao.
Yeah, very nice. Ciao bueno. Henry, I'd love to get things kicked off. I know usually take charge in these things because you're great at telling all the stories that you know people love to hear. So let's kick you off, though. And I just would love to start off. I always find it interesting when you find out about a actor's backstory. You know, the things that happened and the things that they did before they reached that success. And obviously, the success of Happy Days and the 11 seasons it ran was life-changing for you. But you started out in theater. And more specifically, classical theater. And I would just love to hear the story of your beginning and your start as an actor, and then how that ultimately led to your being cast in what was considered at the time not exactly what they were looking for that Fonz character. But then you brought something there in that audition that they were like, nope, this is the guy, we got to have him. So let's just hear a little bit of that, and then obviously take it away, and let me know when you want to go to the fan questions, and we'll head to those also.
All right, thank you, Michael.
Of course.
So, you know, I was born and raised in New York. I never have gotten used to LA. I am a New York boy. I miss New York. When we land and we're driving into the city and I see the skyline of New York, my blood starts to race.
100%.
And if anybody is in New York now, I send you healthy thoughts. What a moment in time we're experiencing. It, you know, it dawned on me that this pandemic is the equalizer, because it doesn't matter who you are or what you do or where you are. We're all the same. I'm now going to get up for 1 minute and disconnect the phone on the other side of the room because my wife keeps calling and she knows, and now she's brushing her teeth. You hear that zzz.
How rude. Wait, your wife is calling you and brushing her teeth at the same time? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what the virtual experiences are all about. If you saw Mr. Henry Winkler at a convention, he would be sitting, you get to see him in person, of course, but he would be sitting behind like a very generic sort of pipe and drape table. He would obviously regale you with one of his amazing stories, but here we are seeing him in his home, react to his answering machine, and we get to see all the beautiful flora behind him.
I want to show you, I'm so sorry that we're not together, because these roses, they fill the room with an aroma that is just to die. They're from France.
Beautiful.
And these are the first roses of the year, and they are always the most fragrant and the most vibrant. So
it begs the question.
I would cut some of them for you guys.
Well, how are you doing? I want to get back to, obviously, your start. You mentioned your New York. Let's get back to New York and feeling for New York, and then how that
my parents escaped Nazi Germany. They moved to New York City. They thought that they would be there for about 6 weeks and, of course, stayed a lifetime.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful because I'm a proud American. I love this country. we are in a little turmoil. But at this, so there I am in New York, and all I can think about was wanting to be an actor.
Yeah.
All I dreamt about was being an actor. And I was a very poor student. As a matter of fact, I am in the bottom 3% academically in America. I took geometry for 4 years, same course. It's one of my favorite stories. I took it in regular school. I took it in summer school. I took it in regular school, summer school. For 4 years, I finally passed with a D- in my senior year of high school, summer school. And that was 1963. That was August 63. Since that moment when I graduated until today, nobody has said the word hypotenuse to me. So what I've learned is, if you are parents, if you are brothers and sisters, if you are aunts and uncles of children who learn differently, we have to teach our children how they learn, not what we think they should learn. Because each mind works differently, and grades have nothing to do with how brilliant you are. So I barely got out of high school. I barely got into college. I went to Emerson in Boston. Yay! They said yes. Yay! And Boston is another great city. Regina's Pizza is what I remember.
Oh.
I think their ovens have been on since 1929. Then, I don't know where I got the nerve, I applied to the Yale School of Drama. Because I thought, everybody said that I would not succeed. I did not want to be a flash in the pan if I was able to become a professional. So I went to they said yes. Yale School of Drama said yes. I went there for 3 years. I got a master's. In drama. Unbelievable. And then I stayed in the professional company. And in 1970, June 30th, I started my professional career. I made $173 a week being in the repertory company at Yale University's drama school.
Wow. What
a moment for me. My parents gave me a Le Mans, a Pontiac Le Mans. Is that right? Is it a Pontiac? Is it a Le Mans?
I'm sure the fans out there will definitely help us out.
Yeah, somebody will know if that's true.
Important questions out there. Is it the Pontiac Le Mans? Yeah.
It was green.
Ooh.
But it had a faulty something because I'm not mechanical, and I had to take it to the shop. It was indeed a lemon. Maybe my father got it on discount. I don't know. Now it just occurred to me, it would not put it past me that's what he did. But this car did not work, but there it was. And the gear shift had like metal shavings in it or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're confirming, Henry, it is the Le Mans. And someone's sister out there, CelebCon, had a yellow one, so they can relate to your Le Mans.
All right, but did theirs work is the question.
That's the better question.
So there I was with the Yale Repertory Theater. I stayed for a year and a half. We rehearsed all day and did a play at night. So we rehearsed one play. We did a different one at night. And then in about 6 weeks, we put the one we were rehearsing on for the public and started to rehearse a new play.
Wow.
And I stayed for a year and a half, and eventually, I was called to do my first movie. And it was the Great Northwestern or the Great Northern Train Robbery. Cliff Robertson was the director at the time. And I couldn't go because there are no understudies in repertory theater. So I'm on the phone, I have a part, and I had to say no. And eventually I went to New York and did commercials. did The Lords of Flatbush, did a Broadway play that opened and closed in one night. It was so fast. I was taking off my makeup. They were ripping out the sink.
What is that called? What was that called?
It was called 42 Seconds from Broadway. It should have been 42 Seconds on Broadway. And then in March of 1973, I did that play. And in September, I got on American Airlines and flew to California. I had enough money for 1 month. During that month, I got the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Yep.
And then 2 weeks later, I tried out for a brand new show. They wanted this big guy, Italian. Yep. They got a short guy, German Jewish. And it completely changed my life. I became Arthur Fonzarelli.
That's well, and that's such a great story. I'd love to hear that story a little bit. Did you? I'm assuming you auditioned straight for Gary Marshall, and I know he had this vision in his head, like you said, of Italian, big, brawny, blonde, and then here comes you coming in there. What was it, do you think, at the time that sparked it? That made the change in his head? It was like, oh no. This is the Fonz. This is
This is what I realized. If anybody out there is thinking about being an actor, when you go and audition, first of all, the director and the producer, they don't always know what they want.
Sure.
So you have to show them what they want. And there is no right and there is no wrong. There is you and your imagination filling up that space. You don't do what you think they want to see. Do what you imagine. And I changed my body. I stood a little differently. I changed my voice. I started talking like this. And when I started talking like this, it unleashed my imagination.
Wow.
There's a very famous English actor, Sir Laurence Olivier. And he would always read a script, and then he would build a nose he thought the character would have out of nose putty, out of putty. And when he had that nose, it unleashed the character. For me, it was the voice. Yeah. I could do anything. I could talk to anybody. I would say, Gary Marshall, what are you talking about? I'm the only guy for you. And then I would walk out of the room. And lo and behold, I did it for 10 years. I had the greatest time.
Oh my gosh. And originally, correct me if I'm wrong, but originally Fonz wasn't supposed to be, he was there as a side character, supporting character. He wasn't originally intended to be a main character. And then obviously when Richie goes off to war, he becomes the center of the show. What was that like, the sort of evolution, and any favorite moments of the evolution of the character from, kind of fun supporting side character to then ultimately the lead and the most popular character on the show?
Letitia. Yes, I was only supposed to be in 7 out of 13.
Wow.
And the fact of the matter is we made it like a little movie. We did it with one camera, like a movie. But at that time, there were only 3 stations. There were 100 TV shows, and we were 48th. So we were on the brink of being canceled.
Oh my gosh.
And Gary in 1975 had the idea to do a live in front of the camera sitcom with three different cameras. And that launched us into hitdom. And we went on for the next 10 years to be number 1 until we were replaced by the A-Team.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, it really set the standard for what a family, a slice of life family sitcom could look like. And so many shows came because of it. Obviously the obvious spinoffs, but then all of just this, any family sitcom show that you see today happened because of what you all did on Happy Days.
Well, it was an amazing thing. We were on the Soundstage 19 on Paramount Lot. the same soundstage that Lucille Ball invented the 3-camera genre. That section of Paramount was called Desilu, and it was her, Desi Arnaz, and her studio, actually, because they had so many shows going that they produced.
Yeah.
But that's where the Lucille Ball show started on our soundstage.
Amazing. Tell us about the evolution a little bit, because some of the fans are asking about the change or the change into the leather jacket. Obviously, the leather jacket became an iconic symbol of the Fonz, but that was not originally what you wore in those 7 episodes.
Originally, ABC thought that if I wore leather, I would be associated with crime.
Wow.
You know, and that you couldn't have that on a Family Hour. And so I wore the cloth jacket, you know, the McGregor golf jacket.
Yeah.
The collar wouldn't stay up, and it had no particular color. I don't know what color it was. And very hard to be cool in this cloth jacket.
For sure.
So Gary Marshall had a meeting at ABC across town from Paramount. And he said, you know, if the Fonz was going to ride a motorcycle, he could be hurt, if wearing cloth. So they said, all right, if he's in a scene with his motorcycle, the Fonz can wear leather, but only with his motorcycle. Gary Marshall, because there were really no cell phones at that time, went downstairs, called the writer's room at Paramount, said never write a scene again without his bike. And that's why you see me wheeling it into Arnold's. I've taken it apart in my apartment. I am never without that bike.
Yeah.
And then eventually it became such a hit. ABC didn't care what I wore. I could have worn chiffon and they would have been fine.
Man, I can't even picture a chiffon wearing Fonz. That would have been a different character indeed. Am I right?
You know, he had a delicate side.
He did. Of course. Every bad boy has his inner emotions. Let's get to some of these fans. There's a ton of fan questions coming in from around the globe. And I'd like to get to some of them. Just a quick reminder.
Tell me where they're from. Where are they?
Yeah, my gosh. Well, they are. So I don't know specifically each question per person where they're watching from, but I know we have people watching from across the country, from Chile, from
Chile.
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll back up. Really,
you know what? One day I would like to go to Chile. My lawyer, Skip Rittenham, who I thanked when I got my Emmy, he was the one who said, if you stay at the table long enough, the chips finally come to you. But he went fishing in Chile and caught these gigantic fish that he could hardly hold. And I hope one day I can do that. I went to Argentina for trout, but I would love to go to Chile to fish.
Wow. And that's a good segue, Henry, that they can go online and buy your fishing book and get it autographed from you. Oh, you've got it right there.
I do.
Show everybody.
It is the only adult book that I ever wrote. And what it really is it started off as a photograph, a book of my photographs. And then it turned into everything that I learned from fly fishing that I apply to life. And here's one now. I'm not always that good. But I have to tell you that I'm so happy that I learned about fly fishing because it's like a washing machine for your brain. It really is. Here are 2 cows having a conversation about going fishing.
That's amazing. People are inviting you in the stream to just fish with them from in Sweden, Canada, Oregon apparently has the best fishing.
Oregon has great. Now, Oregon, I believe, I've never done this, but they have steelhead fishing.
Oh.
And I've never done that. Those are trout that are like you could ride back to LA.
Yeah.
And Sweden, I went on my honeymoon because two movies that I did. The one and only, which it was a wrestling movie. I played a wrestler. And Heroes, which was about the Vietnamese War. Both came out at the same time, and they sent me to Sweden to do press. And so on my honeymoon, Stacy and I went to, what is it? It's below Kirsch, I want to say. And they had salmon trout, which were like delicious. Salmon and trout kind of got together and made a wonderful fish.
Oh my gosh.
Gutenberg, maybe it was Gutenberg at the Fischkirche. Maybe that was in Sweden. Yeah.
I don't know. There's a whole fight going on who has the best fish right now between Utah and Milwaukee and Oregon.
Oh, Utah and Colorado and Idaho. Let me just say, Idaho is a great fishery. There is a wonderful lodge that we go to in Irwin. Jimmy Kimmel is a great fly fisher person.
Okay.
When I did his show, he said, "Hey, we should go fishing sometime." I'm still waiting for an invitation, Jimmy.
You heard it out there. If you're watching Jimmy Kimmel, come on, invite Henry Winkler out to go fishing with him. The book is I've Never Met an Idiot on the River, so definitely check that out. It's on sale right now. Sign at wisd.me/virtual. I want to get back to Happy Days just for a little bit, and then I'd love to talk about more of your recent work, which we're all obsessed with.
No, listen, I have to tell you, I love, Happy Days. It literally changed my life.
Yeah, that's
it,
awesome.
It literally it just exposed the world. It gave me the world. I won the Italian Emmy twice, the Telegato.
Wow.
I have it upstairs.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Yeah. That's so cool.
I'm gonna have some water. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
To your health.
Ciao, ciao. It definitely changed all of our lives as well. Not only those that grew up, more specifically those that grew up in the 70s that watched it, but then even the next generation, it continued on, and it still continues on TV Land and Nick at Night, and we all grew up with it as well. So again, we thank you for bringing such an iconic character to television, and then
the tentacles. So I'm doing very well on Happy Days. The character is a big success.
Sure.
And now I get my deal in the 8th year, I think, of Happy Days. I get a production company. That's part of the deal. And I get on the air commitments, which means if I bring them ABC, a show they like, they'll put it on. And the first show I ever brought them was MacGyver.
Yeah, there's a lot of people asking about MacGyver and your experience with that, producing it. I'd love to hear more about just your experience with producing for the first time.
So I was scared. I said to my lawyer, Skip, I said, I can't produce. I believed I was stupid. I was told I was stupid, that there was business involved. I wasn't good at business. And then I realized we are so good at saying no. Yeah. At saying, "Oh, I can't do that. It's too late. I should have started earlier. I can't do that. I'll make a fool of myself." What I realized was, you have no idea what you can achieve until you start, and there is no better place than right this second.
Wow.
My daughter has a wonderful charity called This Is About Humanity. And it helps the children on the border that are now totally forgotten. But she said, and I have stolen this, there is no better time to start whatever it is that is on your mind than right this minute. You are where you are. We are where we are. And that is your starting place.
Amazing. And that's a shout out to Jenna SC30 watching in Twitch. That was her question about just like how that then led to your production of MacGyver. So shout out to her.
Yeah, so this is what I learned also.
Yeah.
I did what I knew I could do. I did casting. I did, even though reading was hard, I would read the scripts, and then instinctually a line would come to me and I would write it down and turn it in. If they used it, they did. If they didn't, they didn't. But all of a sudden I learned about editing, about selling. There were so many things that I found I could do if I only just applied myself.
Yeah.
And from there, right now, at this moment, I have produced, thinking I couldn't, 19 years of series on the air.
Wow.
Over the years. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, congratulations. That is amazing. I mean, to add that to all the rest of the accomplishments, my gosh.
But here it is. I didn't think I could.
Yeah.
I was full of it. All you have to do is go, I have an idea. I'm going to figure out how to make that come to fruition, and you go for it. I never thought I could write a book. I really thought I was stupid. I thought that was out of the question.
Yeah.
And today, Lynn Oliver and I have written 35 novels together.
Amazing. Amazing.
I'm shocked.
The Hank Zipser series, again, also on sale. What ultimately got you? You do a lot for children, which I admire. Not only the book series, but then I know you've done Shakespeare for children, and you played Hook in Peter Pan in London.
Did you say Hank Zipser?
Yeah.
Oh, here he is.
There he is.
So let me just show you. This one is called Here's Hank, and he's standing in the library of PS 87, where I went to school.
Awesome.
And here, let me just show you this one thing.
On the Upper West Side, right?
On the Upper West Side.
Yeah.
So can you see can you see, should I hold it closer?
You can read it pretty good, yeah.
No, it's not even the reading. It's just the font.
Yes.
So this font, we are the first people ever to use it in America. It was developed by a dad in Holland for his children who have learning challenges, and it makes the eye and the page friends, which I wish I had growing up. So this is first, second, and third grade. So here's a great story. So we're at the Screen Actors Guild, which I would like to win, but I never have.
One day.
And I see Timothée Chalamet, this wonderful young actor.
Yeah.
And I went up and I said, hey, I have to give you a hug because you are, at that time we could. I have to give you a hug because you are so talented. I can't just say, oh, I like your work. I gotta really, it's just, you're great. And he said, I went to PS 87.
Wow.
Where you went, where Hank went, and I was there in the 4th grade when you came to read your novel, Hank Zipser. How about that for a circle?
Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, it was like amazing.
Yeah.
So this is the first day of the 4th grade. And this is the one I usually read because it's the spelling test. I know all the words at home. I know every word. I get to class, they've fallen out of my head. So this is 3rd, 4th, 5th, and depending on if the person is a good reader or not, 6th grade. Hank Zipser, the world's greatest underachiever. That's me.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you for all the work that you do for the kids out there. I know they appreciate it. I know families appreciate it, especially during this time where there's a lot of homeschooling going on.
Well, Michael, I don't mean to interrupt, but the truth is, if I did not make it as an actor, I would have worked with children. I somehow get children. I remember what it is to be 8. When I'm working with Lynn, I remember what it was to fail and feel so bad. And now understand it didn't much matter, that has nothing to do with who you are in the world and what you can achieve. So I never thought about working with children in these books. It was a time filler. I was having a hard time finding a job in 2002. I wasn't getting hired. Somebody, Alan Berger, who is now this wonderful agent, and he said, "Why don't you write books for kids about your learning challenges?" I said, "Because I can't write a book, because I'm stupid." He said, "No, no, no. I'll introduce you to Lynn Oliver. She's a friend of mine." We had lunch, Lynn Oliver and I, and out came Hank Zipser.
Wow.
And now there are 18 Hank Zipsers. There are 12. Here's Hank's. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Let's talk. You said you had it's incredible to hear from someone of your acting prowess and your lifelong career that you've had moments where you were not finding things. It's an odd thing to hear as someone who's such a fan, and for all the fans out there. Was there ever a moment where you thought to yourself like, maybe I'm done, you know what I mean? But then, my gosh, like all these amazing moments come back. You know, we get you in Scream and the Waterboy in the 90s, and then we get you now in Barry, which is one of the best series on TV right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are asking specifically in the chat, Nancy M92, about more seasons of Better Late Than Never as well.
You know what? That was an amazing job.
Yeah.
So I get a call from Paul Telegdi, who is the head of NBC television at that time. And he calls me and he said, "Would you like to be an executive producer?" I said, "Okay." "Of what?" He said, "You're going to travel around the world and you're going to experience things that you never dreamt of."
Okay.
They were going to send me to Uzbekistan and where they eat the goat from the outside in. I said, "Okay, I'm going to do a lot of things. That's not one of them. I'm not having a goat from the outside in." But all of a sudden, Bill Shatner came on.
Yep.
Terry Bradshaw. George Foreman,
Oh my God.
the heavyweight champion of the world. I met him for 20 minutes before we left to get on the plane and travel around the world. It was a job. It was like a gift fell out of heaven. I don't know that we're going to do that show again, but maybe I'm going to do a show that will have the same spirit.
Oh, okay. I like that. That's a good answer. That feels like we got something coming in the mix. What a great show watching you all four interact. You mentioned just the four of them. You've gotten throughout your career to work with such amazing actors. Even Happy Days, once it got in its heyday, my gosh, the guest stars that were on there, the shows that it led to. Specifically, folks are wondering, and most specifically from Retro Reviews 27 on Twitter. I'd love to hear just about anyone in your life that was the most impactful, but more specifically, Robin Williams comes on as the character of Mork. And then
first of all, let me just say that the cast of Happy Days is still very tight.
Awesome. That was another question.
You know, I talked to Marion. She's in her 90s now. She's one of the great women of my life that I've ever met. She wise and funny and strong and talented. Her talent, it was limitless, truly limitless. She could do anything. Gary Marshall, Tom Miller, who just passed away. Tom Miller, Eddie Milkis, and Gary were the triumvirate, the three guys who were the head of Happy Days. And they were amazing. Robin Williams.
Yeah.
We had a lot of great stars. The Lone Ranger. A lot of you don't remember, but the Sergeant Bilko was a major show when I was growing up, a major comedy. And his daughter, as a matter of fact, Jenny Piccolo, was on the show. Just an amazing young actress. But Robin Williams was a wonder.
Yeah.
And he opened his mouth on the first day of rehearsal. And I realized I only had 2 jobs. Remember my lines. Well, 3. Do not laugh and get out of his way.
Yeah.
Because this was a tornado of an imagination. This was a Mount Vesuvius of an imagination. He never did the same thing twice. He devoured the script, and then it came out of him Robinized.
Wow.
And you know, it was like if someone was holding a fireman's hose and they were against your body. It was a torrent of comedy, of language, of imagination. So when he did his own show, they added an extra camera just for Robin.
Wow.
Because there were 3 cameras, and then they would do the show, and Gary would say, hey, Sam, the cameraman, hey, did you get that? Did you get it? He said, no, Robin never came by my camera. So they added a camera that only followed Robin wherever he went.
Oh my gosh.
Our scripts were 54 pages long. The Mork and Mindy show, I think, were 30 pages long because it just said, Robin will do something here.
Oh man, what an experience. And how crazy that it came from your show that then ultimately led to his success as well.
It came, Gary Marshall's son, Scott, who is now an adult, has his own family. He is a director, and he is becoming Gary.
Yeah.
His son, Gary's son, is becoming Gary. It is the same lilt, the same timing, the same charm. It was his idea. He told his dad, hey, you should have an alien on Happy Days. And that's how it came to be.
That's hilarious. Henry, we only have 5 minutes left. My gosh, I could talk to you.
True?
I could talk to you for 3 hours, but I just want to remind the fans at home, this is your last opportunity now to purchase those one-on-one video chats. They are going to sell out. So definitely take advantage of those.
Can I just say this then? If we only have a certain amount of time,
take it home.
Wherever you are in the world, I hope you are healthy. I'm only going to say this from my point of view.
Yes.
I don't think it is a matter of fighting for one's rights. I think as hard as it is, we have got to stay home because this thing is not going away because we wish it to go away. And that vaccine is down the road.
Yes.
So stay healthy, protect yourself, protect your loved ones, your neighbors. It is I want to tell you, I found out things that I never knew that I would ever know in my life. Did you know that there are between 123 and 236 seeds on a strawberry? Well, self-quarantine.
Things, yeah. Well, that's a great segue to, like, I think we'll wrap up with this final question. A lot have been asking it, but specifically from Mad Hatter 094, would love to know what you've been doing to pass your time, obviously Googling amazing facts, and what's coming up. I know that we are all excited. I'm a huge fan of the show, Barry. And again, congrats on the Emmy. If we know, I know it's not announced and there's no real announcements in the future, but I know we're all looking forward to season 3. So maybe just what you're doing to pass the time and then what you're excited about, no spoilers, for the next season of Barry.
Well, you know what? I don't know because we were just going to read the scripts.
Oh my gosh.
But remember, we left season 2. Now, if you haven't seen Barry, and you have a friend, if you don't have HBO, but they have HBO, while they're having dinner,
yes,
take over their television.
Exactly.
Just say, you enjoy the spaghetti, we're going to watch Barry. There are only 16 episodes to catch up on. I am so over the moon that you know what we did yesterday? I had a Zoom with the whole cast of Barry. We haven't seen each other, and we're all self-quarantined.
Yeah.
But you know what I did on Heart Radio? I wrote a commencement speech, which I think they will do May 17th or May 14th or something like that on the iHeartRadio network. A lot of people gave like between 4 and 10-minute commencement speeches for all those wonderful kids out there who are not going to experience what we consider to be a passage of time, the graduation, the prom.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is the most earth-shattering moment in my entire lifetime, in yours. And we're in it together. And so that I did that. I read books for Jen Garner. I think it's called SaveChildren.com. I don't know exactly. My partner and I have just written the second volume of Alien Superstar. This is a middle grade comedy about a 13-year-old who has to leave his oppressive planet, and he lands on Earth on the only address he knows, Universal Studios. I mean, who's going to question a rocket ship? And he gets a job on a sitcom on Universal as an alien. Yeah. So we just turned in the second volume.
Very cool.
Alien Superstar.
And I know we're going to put that up in the Wizard World Vault for the folks to purchase. On behalf of all the fans watching from around the world, I want to just say thank you from all of us for everything you've done for television, for film, for children's learning. We appreciate all that you've given. You are definitely a legend in all of our eyes. So again, thank you so much for sitting down with us and giving, all of us that are, especially shout out to the first responders out there and the essential workers. This is giving folks a little break, a little respite from it all, and we appreciate you offering this to us. So
let me just say, without the first responders, without those people who are driving those buses or those trucks, or cleaning the hospitals, or whatever you're doing now to make sure that we're safe, there are no words to thank you. And Michael, thank you for leading us through this.
Of course. It was a pleasure. It was a delight. Please give a virtual round of applause one more time for award-winning actor, comedian, director, producer, and author, Mr. and Rose Collector, Mr. Henry Winkler, everybody. Thank you so much, Henry.
Bye.
Hey, this is Alex Malari Jr., and you are watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Your emperor commands it. Thanks for watching.